Buffalo Springfield originated in 1966 when Richie Furay met up with Stephen Stills in Los Angeles, California to start working on songs together. A friend, Neil Young, had met Stephen Stills a year earlier in Toronto, Canada. At the time, they had their own bands but expressed interest in working on music together. Neil Young then met bassist Bruce Palmer, and after a record deal fell through for them, they set out to Los Angeles to find Stephen. Neil, without having a phone number or address for Stephen, was serendipitously spotted while stuck in traffic in LA. Stephen noticed Neil Young's huge black Pontiac hearse. Stephen flagged down the car, and sure enough, Neil Young and Bruce Palmer emerged. Buffalo Springfield was immediately solidified, and drummer Dewey Martin was added later, completing the band. Living in the hills of Laurel Canyon, Buffalo Springfield was inundated with famous bands that lived right next door to them. Making friends with the Byrds member Chris Hillman would pay off as he persuaded the Whisky A-Go-Go to audition Buffalo Springfield. Buffalo Springfield nailed the audition and became the house band for 7 weeks in a row. These series of live performances solidified the band's reputation for live shows and attracted loads of interest from record labels. Sonny and Cher's management team, Charles Green and Brian Stone, saw Buffalo Springfield perform and absolutely loved them. They pushed hard to represent them as their managers. Buffalo Springfield finally agreed, and they got a 4-album record deal with Atlantic Records and a $12,000 advance. The first album was set to be recorded at the famous Gold Star recording studios, and despite little experience, Charles Green and Brian Stone were producing and recording the album for Buffalo Springfield. The band was unhappy with the recording after it was done, and they said that it didn't really reflect the intensity of their live shows. The band asked that they re-record the album, but the record label, not wanting to miss out on the Christmas season, the record label really insisted that they release the record how it was. During this time, the Sunset Strip in the 1960s saw a flurry of young kids, hippies, and music lovers flocking to all the music venues nearby. This influx of traffic started bringing lots of noise, underage drinking, and loitering, which really upset the local residents and business owners, which became infuriated with all the commotion, and they band together to create a strict 10 p.m. curfew and loitering law in effort to reduce the foot traffic. The young music lovers saw this as an infringement of their rights and started protesting against the curfew law for weeks. On November 12, 1966, a local radio station made an announcement that there would be a huge gathering to protest at a venue called Pandora's Box on the Sunset Strip. This night rallied large numbers of protesters, and Stephen Stills happened to be a passenger in a car heading toward the protest. Stephen said that a bunch of kids gathered on the Sunset Strip and said, "We aren't moving." Then about 3 busloads of Los Angeles police showed up who looked very much like stormtroopers. The cops on one side and the kids on the other side. The kids started teasing the cops, chanting and shouting at them. It became very tense. The fire department showed up and was side by side with the police. Finally, the tension erupted with a full-fledged war on the protesters. The fire department turned hoses onto the crowd to try and get them to disperse. Stephen told his friend who was driving to turn around. "Ain't nothing good gonna come from that." Stephen immediately started writing down his experience of exactly what happened in lyrical form as he was heading back to his home to get his guitar. As they pulled up to his house, he had the words half written in his head, and he wrote this song in almost as quickly as he could excite the story of what happened to a guitar riff that he had already been messing around with. He said he wrote this song in about 5 minutes. Then Neil Young came along with his distinct 2-note harmonic bell-sounding guitar plucks that made the iconic sound of that song. They played this song live, and everybody loved it. Buffalo Springfield would then meet with the head of Atlantic Records, Ahmet, to show him new songs they had been working on for their next album. After they played all their songs, Stephen, not even having a title for this song yet, said, "Hey, Ahmet, here's one more song for what it's worth." He played it for Ahmet, and Ahmet absolutely loved it. They immediately recorded the song at Columbia Studios in December 1966. It was released just a couple weeks later, and a few short months it became a national hit, making the top 10 Billboard charts in 1967.
Ladies and gentlemen, say good evening to Buffalo Springfield.
This song has become the anthem for protesting anti-war, and it's a staple of period piece films about 1960s America, and often used as a common shorthand to quickly establish the atmosphere of 1960s counterculture movements and protests. It's been featured in such films such as Forrest Gump, Lord of War, and Tropic Thunder, just to name a few. It's been covered by many artists like Led Zeppelin, Cher, Ozzy Osbourne, The Staples, Rush, Tom Petty, Kid Rock. Even Public Enemy sampled it for their hit song He Got Game, and there's countless covers of it on YouTube. For What It's Worth is a true timeless classic and no doubt attributed to the mega cult following and induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Who would have thought that Stevens' quick Sunset Riot encounter would yield the Buffalo Springfield a song and lyrics from one of the most prolific tracks in rock history that only took him about 5 minutes to write.
What it is ain't exactly clear. There's a man with a gun over there, telling me I got to beware. I think it's time we stop, children, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. Being drawn, nobody's right if everybody's wrong.